What you see on your screen at this time is a reminder that this advisor webcast is intended for informational purposes only. Any features or functionality described for Oracle's products remains at the sole discretion of Oracle. Now, let's get started with our presentation. Kevin, if you're ready, I'll turn the webcast over to you and you can begin.
Okay. Thank you, Pam. Hello all. Welcome to the session on User Productivity Kit, version 11. My name is Pavan and I work for Oracle Software Support in the modules of People Tools and UPK, User Productivity Kit. And this is the agenda for today's session. Introduction to User Productivity Kit and the new features on User Productivity 11 Professional. And we also see the installation of the developer tool and the knowledge center. At the end, I will give a small demo and a small demonstration on UPK developer tool as well as the knowledge center. So what is UPK, User Productivity Kit? It is a training software that has the capability to create documentation, training and support materials. The software can take series of screenshots of each step in a transaction. The users can then view the steps using different modes, such as see, write, and know it. Also do it and print it. Print it is an optional mode. The training materials can be accessed using a web browser. That is only possible if you place the training material on a web server. You have to deploy this on a web server. In addition to the interactive view, the UPK produces the following documents, such as the business process, job aid, training guide, instructor manuals, and many more. So, what are the new features which are included in the UPK 11 Professional? The new features introduced are the Page Center, the Knowledge Center, recording, sound, external content publishing, and player and in-application support. In fact, there are other features also included. The main features are listed here, and the Knowledge Center has been actually renamed and knowledge pathways and content deployment, tracking and reporting are included into the Knowledge Center. And Publishing Wizard has been redesigned to provide greater ease of use and efficiency when publishing. As part of this redesign, the HTML was added as a format for document publishing and output. Also including in the Publishing Wizard enhancements are the capabilities to package the published player in a zip file format and to publish directly into the Knowledge Center. So we have all the options which are apart from the player deployment, the HTML are included, where you can directly publish the HTML format so that a website can be created. In-application support configuration utility enhanced to enable when a context fetch from a target application results in a matrix with multiple paths. The decision frame will be displayed to enable users to select the appropriate path to use. Now, with the installation of the UPK 11 Professional, before you start the installation, you have to make sure that the technical specifications are met. With every version of the User Productivity Kit, the technical specifications are included in the My Oracle support. You can find the technical specifications and verify whether you are meeting the technical specification before you start the User Productivity Kit. Any version, whether it is 11 or UPK 361 version. and also make sure that what type of installation you want to do. Whether it is a single user installation or a multi-user installation. If only one user is there to develop the content, the single user installation is enough. If you are going to have multiple users to develop the content, it is better to configure the server client, that is also known as multi-user installation. And also make sure that we have a database ready to can be connected, because the installer is going to connect to the database while doing the installation. It is going to create a database. And the Internet Information Services. The Internet Information Services is very much required, because the installer, the UP2 installer, will create the website, will create the virtual directories, and it also restarts while doing the installation. So it should be ready. So let's see how the installation steps are going to look like. So this particular screenshot is taken from an installation of user productivity CRM, and this slide shows the configuration type of developer server client. In fact, there are many other configuration types which are developer server client, single user, and knowledge center, and content root and import utility. The reason I have selected the developer user client is because after completing the installation, I will have a chance to verify whether the developer tool is working or connecting to the developer or not. Because with this particular option, the developer server client, apart from installing the server part of the installation, it also installs the developer tool. So that's why preferred configuration type is developer server client. Of course, this is not the first screenshot or first slide of the installed wizard. The first screen will be like a welcome screen, and then you can choose your preferred language of installation. And this is probably the fourth screen. So I'm going to the next slide now. Okay, this is a warning message. This warning message comes when there is no secure website found. This was incorporated because with the user productivity 11 version, the preferred website is always a secure website, that is SSL enabled. If the installer couldn't find any secure website, then this particular message will pop up. Of course, you have an option to ignore this particular message by checking the checkbox which says ignore recommendations and continue the installation. After checking that checkbox, the next button will enable. We can proceed with the installation. Okay. Now, it is going to create a website, the default website, of course, the default website, and the installer is going to create ODS content. ODS content is the name, a default website name that actually contains the server tools for this particular installation configuration. And also you will be presented with the authentication modes you can choose from. The first one is Windows authentication, and the other one is the standard authentication. If you choose the Windows authentication, the developer, the UPK developer or the UPK server will authenticate and log into the server environment using your Windows. Create a username and password. In fact, you have to create a username and password, and that will be used whenever you connect to the server using your UPK developer client. And what type of database you want to connect, whether it is Oracle database or MS SQL. You have to choose a database here. I have chosen the Oracle database. Now, the installer is going to run the SQL scripts which are necessary to create a database for this particular environment, that is user productivity kit. It is always recommended, and of course you can manually run the scripts, but it is recommended to let the installer run the scripts. So I have chosen no, the scripts have not been run, let the installer run them, so that the installer can run the scripts. Okay, this screenshot shows that the installer is going to restore the Internet Information Services. The reason is, when installing, it is going to create the database, the ODS content database, the ODS content virtual directory, so that it can put the necessary content and tools into it. So you have to make sure that no one is connected, or no one is using the IaaS services. So that that is another prerequisite. No one is make sure that no one is connected. So and go ahead with the installation. If you think anyone is still using this, please say no to installation, and installation will be cancelled. So before starting the installation itself, you have to make sure that no one is using the IaaS, so that the installer can stop and start the IaaS services. Okay, this particular slide is for the Oracle database login and host client. After giving this, the installer will validate, it will try to connect to the Oracle database. If the connection is successful, it will proceed. If not, it will throw an error which is relevant to the Oracle database or MS SQL database. So an active and successful connection is necessary, and important to actually complete the installation. Now add table space for the database, and because is like OD dev content, and it creates the username and the password as well. Of course, you can change the table space as well, or you can create your own table space and select from the drop-down list. This particular screenshot is there because I have chosen authentication mode as standard, and the installer will give me an option to create the administrator username and password. This particular administrator username and password will be used whenever whenever I log into the developer, or even into try to connect to the database. So this particular screenshot actually ends the installation of User Productivity 11 Professional, and will proceed with the next installation, that is a Knowledge Center installation. As I said, we have several configurations, several type of setup configuration. You can configure this Knowledge Center from the same script where you have installed User Productivity Kit. server client kind of configuration. Now, the necessity of the knowledge center installation is as much as like you install the knowledge pathways in the previous versions, as well as the user usage tracking, because there is no usage tracking or knowledge pathways in this version 11 of UPK. All of them are included into the knowledge center. This is one place where you can have assessments of the usage, you can track the content, you can create the knowledge pathways for the user community, and I'll talk about all the options in the knowledge center in my demo. So I have in the configuration, this setup configuration, I have chosen the knowledge center as my configuration type. Here it is. This slide shows setup has detected that you need the colon services, that is indexing services. It is an optional one. I mean, setup will detect whether you need the indexing or not. Obviously, if you need the indexing, if you want do some keyword searches on the knowledge center, you can do a keyword search on your existing content. Like if there is a content created for e-business application, and you can do a keyword search on it, and the relevant content will be retrieved and presented to you. To work that search functionality, you have the search functionality. The indexing service is a Windows service, and it is needed. And this will be used to index all the content. Whatever content is on the server will be indexed and so though it is an optional one, it is a very useful one. This case, if you want to start the indexing services, you can do it. If you don't want to use the full functionalities of the full search functionalities, simply say no, do not start the service. It's not going to start the service, and indexing will not be done. Okay, this screenshot is about if you have an existing usage tracking, that is from the previous versions like 361 or even lesser, you can update your existing usage tracking into your knowledge center. If it is a new install, simply say no, this is a new install and go ahead. If you want to update, you have to be all the information that was presented on the screen. Okay. Like we see in installation of user productivity kit tool, this also found when like there is no secure website, and it throws a warning saying don't have a secure website. So if you want to ignore, you can ignore. So you have to check that checkbox to ignore the recommendation and continue the installation. So it's just a warning, it's not a error or something. Okay. The installer is going to create two databases here. Two virtual directories. One is for paid data and another is for case center. Paid data will hold the necessary tools to connect between the UPK client developer and with the case center. It is kind of a connection between the developer tool and the case center. And knowledge center application virtual directory will hold the knowledge center applications. And it also got the authentication, Windows authentication and standard authentication. You can use either of them. And the database, the Oracle database and then SQL database. As it is as a tool, UPK developer tool is using the Oracle database, and the case center should also use the same database. If the scripts are already ran, as we've seen, those scripts are already ran with the server client installation. If they already ran, you don't have to run those scripts again. You can simply say if the scripts have already been run for this version, and go ahead to the next option. Okay. Now, again, it's going to restart because it will create two virtual directories. Internet Information Services will be restarted, will be stopped, and will be started to create those two virtual directories. And it will try to connect to the Oracle database, and you have to give the credentials, authentication username and passwords to connect to the Oracle database or MS SQL database. This is the table space for the knowledge center. This same option is the default one, and K-user is the default username. You can always use your own table space. Okay, this one is important. And the K content and the local location to the K content. It's a shared directory. The K content will actually contain the published content to the knowledge center. Whatever content is going to publish into the knowledge center, that will actually hold in the K content root. And it also creates a local directory where physically it will be placed. And you can create number of content roots. That is also a configuration option. You can create number of content roots to place your published content into the knowledge center. And these are the credentials. These are the administrator username and password. I have chosen a standard authentication during the previous slides. It will give me an option to create username password. It is actually administrator username and password. So this slide actually concludes the installation of our knowledge center. Now we will directly go into the demo of the server client. So we will see publishing the topics to the knowledge center. We will see how it actually goes, and also we will see importing the player package into the knowledge center, and finally exploring the options of the knowledge center. We will navigate each option in the knowledge center, and we will try to know which option actually do what. With this slide, I'm going to share my demo environment so that I can show you all the steps where we have where we can publish the content, where we can actually log into the knowledge center and all. So I'm going to share my environment. Okay, I hope everybody can see my application here. Right now I am sharing user productivity kit, the developer tool. I have created a profile called the content 11. You can see here on left top. And this is system files. System is the actual library, and getting started with UCT. In fact, with this version, most of the whatever content is necessary to know about this new product is actually pre-built and given with this with this initial library. Actually, it comes along with the installation. It is not actually created by me. It comes along with the installation. Now, I'll show you how you can publish the content. In previous versions, what we have done is you will publish into the server, and it will actually publish in your local drive. But with this version, what you can do is, apart from publishing the content in your local drive, local directory, it also publishes the content into the knowledge center so that the content can be used immediately for the knowledge path and for the consumption of the users. They are readily consumable for the user community. You don't have to put the content manually like in user tracking. You don't have to put the content in a place so that it can be tracked. It's not like that. It is automated now. It can be directly published into the knowledge center, and it is ready to the users can use it. So I have created a section here which has two topics. The section is called Sound and Re-Record, and the two topics are using re-record and adding sound to your content. In fact, these are the new two features included in this new version. Let's find out how we can publish this content. I'm clicking on the file menu and navigating to the publish. Clicking on the publish now. It is like specify your publishing destination. It is the local directory. It actually publishes into the C drives, my documents, and a directory called user productivity kit. I'm clicking on the next now. Okay, and these options are publish entire outline and publish the selection only. If you see, I have selected sound and re-record. Sound and re-record. This actually publishes the entire outline itself. Even though I choose publish selection only, it publishes whatever content underneath it. That is as it is a section, and so the section alone cannot be published. It has to publish whatever content beneath it. So it doesn't make any difference if I select the selection only or entire outline. So I'm clicking on it. It's given a message, you have selected content that is different from what is already there. Because I have already content in the specified destination, so I'm okay with overwriting the existing content. So I'm continuing. Okay. This is where you will see a new deployment option, that is, as we discussed earlier in slide, HTML websites. The HTML website is a new deployment option introduced into the UPK 11 version. You can create HTML websites from the wizard itself. But right now I'm selecting the player and the elements. And on the right side, if you scroll in, these are various options, and they are in fact common in almost all the versions of even previous versions of the UPK. So we don't have to concentrate on all these options. But the new thing is, here it is, Knowledge Center Publishing. This one is new in the publishing wizard. You have a server settings here. If you click on the server settings, it will be presented with this. These are the authentication mode, username and password, as it is a standard authentication. it will ask for the username and the password because I have already entered it and I have established a connection. It is already pre-populated, and the connect to in initial stage we have to add this and put in the URL and the virtual directory to the K data. As I said, the K data, while we doing the installation of the knowledge center, it creates two virtual directories. Actually three virtual directories, but one is K data and the other one is K center and the third one is content root. Here content root, or it also called as K data, K govern and K root. The K data contains the actual tools which will connect the UPK developer with the knowledge center. So that you have to give the URL and the port and to the virtual directory of K data. I click OK here, and it will show authentication as knowledge center login and connection is not named. I haven't given any name. Right now I am clicking on the publish. Publication will start, and it will take around 20 to 30 seconds depending on the size of the content. These two topics are very small topics, so that it should complete in around 20 seconds. Before in the meantime, I will show you the knowledge center. Okay, this is the knowledge center. I already logged in as an administrator, and on the left side you see various navigations here, like knowledge paths, player, search, user profile, answer a question, ask an expert, notebook, reports, manager, and help and logout. Whatever content that you are going to publish into the knowledge center will be placed here, will be placed in player. So all the content titles you will see on the player. Let's click on the player navigation. I just clicked on the player navigation. Okay, here. I have already published all these things like application configuration, content development best practices, enhancing your content, smart help, and great features of UPK. We are in a process of publishing the sound and re-record. So that will also come under this section. After that complete the publishing, that will come under this place, and we'll see how it actually looks like. I'm going to click on one of these players to show you how you can actually play it. I just clicked on the content development best practices. It is opening now. Okay. It has 3 topics here, and these are the navigation. These are the viewing modes: see, write, and print it. If I click on the seat and if I consume this particular topic in seat mode, it will be automatically tracked. I don't have to set up anything. Whatever topic I am going to consume here, it will be automatically tracked, and I report will be. I can generate a report anytime. Any time to see the consumption of the topics. I will also show you what are the reports we can generate to see the consumption of the topics, consumption of the content. I am again clicking on the home to go back to the knowledge center home. Let's see if the publication is completed or not first. It's 82% completed. Let's go back to the knowledge center. Okay. What I want to show you next is the knowledge path. This knowledge path is actually a different component in the previous versions, but now it is added into the knowledge center. Now it is a part of the knowledge center. I created a sample here. It's testing out for KPath. Let's click on it. Okay. I have created two more underneath the knowledge test path, and each will have a course attached to it. Let's see this one. I will click on the continue of the last part. Okay. This particular topic, the Oracle e-business topic, actually in progress and 40% is completed. So this is also the same thing, like player. This is the knowledge pathways. You can consume the topics from here as part of the knowledge path, and this particular one is also tracked automatically by the tracking mechanism or assessments. It can also assess the topic. So I'm going back to the home. We have seen player. We have continuous like where if you are doing anything, any knowledge path, you are in between consuming the knowledge path. Yes, I actually can directly click on the continue so that you can start from there. You don't have to go to the knowledge pathways and navigate all the way down. Okay, the publishing is completed. I can close this publishing wizard as I already have a knowledge center here. So I'm closing it and to go back to the player. Okay, here it is. It is there. Found and re-record. It is there. And let's click on the found and re-record content. Okay. These are ready to consume. Using re-record and adding found your content. Let's go back to the home and explore the other options. User interface and the search functionality here. As I have enabled the indexing services at the time of knowledge center installation, I can use this full functionality of the search. If I type something like and click on the search, I should get some results out of it. See, I got almost 10 results. Then I will get relevant with this re-record is a keyword, and I will get all the relevant results which are close to it, which are close to this keyword. If we don't enable the indexing service at the time of installation, we won't be able to use this particular functionality. It's a useful functionality to find. It is a very useful functionality to find a topic using it, because I have only 5 topics published here. If you have almost hundreds of topics published, it is hard to find the topic. So I can use a keyword to find a particular topic which I am interested. Click on the home again and to explore the other options. User profile will show the login profile, whatever username that I logged in. So these are the login details. Username is UPK11 Pro Professional. Okay, I'm going back to the home. Answer a question. This is something new with the Knowledge Center. This particular option, answer a question, is only available to certain users who are unable to answer questions. That means there will be marked as experts. There will be marked as experts by the administrator who have created the user profile, and they can answer the questions. A user can, anyone can ask a question. Even an administrator, an expert can ask a question. An expert can answer an expert's question, or they can answer other user questions. So a user community can ask a question using ask an expert. Ask an expert is by default it is available for any user, but answer a question is only available to certain users who are having the privileges of an expert. Let's see what is there in answer the question. Okay. So there is a question. This is testing. So there is a question already created here for testing. I have created this one, and as an expert I can answer because I am an administrator. An administrator will by default will have expert rights, so I can answer right and submit. So it is submitted and is done, and this will close. Let's go back and ask an expert. Because I have created two users here. One is administrator and another is a simple user. I will also log in as a simple user, and I will show the differences. By clicking on the ask an expert, I can create a question here. I can ask a new question. I can create a query, and I can wait for an expert to answer that particular question. It's a very useful tool. Okay, and others are reports. I want to show you the reports. Reports are something like in our usage said in the previous version. These reports will have various custom reports, and you can design your own reports. Here it is. These are custom reports and these are standard reports. You can design your own reports here using these things, predefined reports. We can also see the user report. If I click on the user report to view, this will display the consumption. Let's find the user. I'm searching for the user, existing user. There is a user called learner, and I'm adding it to the selected user names and clicking on OK. And process report. Okay. This particular user consumed these topics: application configuration, configuration not consumed. Oracle EBS configuration is consumed twice. So total is 2. And it displays everything. And if it is the assessment, it also calculates the assessment also. Because this particular user only consumed field mode, so you don't see any assessments here. Let's return to the report list. Okay. Finally, the manager. Click on the manager. Okay. A manager can create the user and the user groups and knowledge portraits. He can do almost most of the activities as like an administrator. I will navigate quickly through all the options here with the user groups and knowledge portraits. From here we can create any number of knowledge pods to the user community. I have created only one here. That is testing and of course report that we already saw in our previous navigations. And here it is titles. This is what I want to actually show you. We will you will see all the titles which are imported, which are actually published or imported either from the UPK developer or from here. You can import, you can put the content directly from the knowledge center also, from here also. If you click on the import title and go to browse to a location, you will have a local published player package. If you do a zip, if you archive this player package, because it accepts only the zip formatted player packages, and click open and import, that particular content will directly be imported into the title. So this is one way of importing the titles, importing the content into the knowledge center. So we have two ways. One is publishing from the UPK developer, and another one is importing them from the knowledge center. Let's see these options also. These are the server connection, which shows you the information of the server management with various permissions. Usually I have permissions like these. So as he is an administrator, these are a number of permissions. This is the URL for the server, and the content root. So I have created only one content root here. This is the content root. Name is a content. By default it creates one. But if I run the configuration for the content root one more time, it will create one more content root right under the content root management, so that I can choose which content root should hold the published content, so that the content will be divided into different places. So that is the demo. That is what I want to show. That's all from my side. Okay.
Thank you, Pavan. We hope everyone found the presentation valuable today. We'll open our Q&A in just a moment, so please use the chat feature or the phone lines at this time to let us know you have a question. Kalia, could I ask you to give instructions for those on the phone lines?
If you would like to ask a question or if you have a comment, please press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad.
Okay, we'll pause for just a moment to compile our roster of questions. And while we're doing that, I want to remind everyone of a couple of things. In approximately 48 hours, I will be sending a PDF plus the download and streaming links to all those who have enrolled. So this is a good tip that if you see a webcast of interest, go ahead and enroll for it anyway. Enroll for it even if you have a calendar conflict, because then you know that you'll be pushed the information within 48 hours after the presentation. Also, I will be posting out on my Oracle support document number 740-964.1 the download and streaming links within 48 hours. So again, that's doc number 740-964.1. And the third thing I want to remind everyone of is, if you have a question after we end today, go ahead and respond to that email from me with the PDF and the download and streaming links, and I'll forward it on to Pavan to answer on a one-off basis. So with all that said, we do have a couple of questions here, Pavan. The first one on the chat feature is, will a single user install require a secure website?
Answer to that question is no, it's not required. As it is, if you install a single user setup, it will be for that specific user only, like say specific computer. If at all that content will be deployed into a web server, then we can set up that web server as secure. because the single user installation is not going to use any virtual directory or something. So a secure website is not expected at the installation time of the single user.
Okay, thank you. Here's another question. Is the DB required for a pure client install, a non-server install?
For this question, I need to get back to you, Pam. I will get back to the customer with via email.
Okay, Tom, I will be sending Pavan your email address along with the question, and he'll get back to you on a one-off basis. Talia, any questions from your audience?
There are no audio questions.
Okay. Tom sent me another note, Pavan. He said, can a single user install be changed later to a server install?
No, it cannot be changed. Unfortunately, it cannot be changed as it is a standalone install and it doesn't have anything to do with the multi-user install. Of course, you can use the developed content from the single user install. If you after installing the single user install and develop the content, and in the later stages, if you have decided to install a multi-user installation, you have to use you have to put this particular single user content into this multi-user server. That's it. It cannot be converted from single to multi. Only the content can be moved from here to there.
Okay. It is recommended to turn the indexing services on. On a normal Windows computer, this isn't that difficult, but on a Windows server, it becomes a lot harder.
Okay. The other side, indexing is an option. I mean, if there are any restrictions, especially with that, if it is a security kind of restrictions, then we don't have any other option to say no to it while doing the installation. But it only uses at the time to create the indexing of the content asset. And after, if you create the indexing for all of your content, you can save the turn off the indexing service. Indexing service is only needed at the time of actual publishing and installing the service, installing the client or the presenter. That's it.
Okay. Did you use an Oracle 11G database?
It is as per the technical specifications. If the technical specifications got 11G, we can use the 11G as well. It's completely about the technical. We have to go as per the technical specifications.
Okay. Can you install a UPK on non-window environments? Can I install it on Unix?
Yeah, server. I mean, the database can reside on any kind of environment. It can be on a Unix environment. But the client, when I say the client, the UPK developer tool, that cannot be installed on Unix. That has to be on a Windows environment. That's it.
Okay, so if the answer is no, do you have any plans to release it for WebLogic?
That particular answer is not clear. I mean, because we are talking about the Windows, WebLogic is not. Because WebLogic is not used.
Okay. What are the differences between UPK 11 and UPK Professional 11?
Okay. Yeah. UPK 11 is also called Standard Edition, and that doesn't have the knowledge pathways. The knowledge pathways requires additional licenses. The UPK 11 Professional have the, is included with the knowledge pathway, and it can be distributed or it can be used by the users who have the license to use the knowledge pathways. So, standard edition will not include the knowledge pathways. That is, there is no other difference with the standard edition and the professional one. That is the only change. That is the only difference.
Okay. Kalia, do you have any questions from your audience?
There are no audio questions.
Okay. As I said, I'm always trying to give you enough time to find the features that we talked about. Type in your questions. I know a lot of times you'll be in a conference room with your associates, and it may take a minute or two to decide what questions are the most appropriate to ask. So with that, I'm looking at the chat feature now, and I do see a question here. Overall, for a 9.6.1 to 11 migration, do you recommend A, creating an entirely new web server, DB pair, then migrating to it, or B, run the update script?
Running the update scripts will actually do the job.
So that would be your advice, to run the scripts instead of creating an entirely new web server.
Actually, the UBK11 comes with an upgrade guide. To follow that upgrade guide, it actually gives all enough information. And then what is the recommended to do it? And then running the scripts will do.
Okay. Okay. So one last time, Kalia, any questions from your audience?
There are no audio questions.
Okay, and I'm not seeing any additional questions on the chat feature. So with that, I want to thank Kevin and thank everyone for joining today's Oracle Advisor Webcast. We hope you found this webcast valuable, and we look forward to you joining us again. Please enjoy the remainder of your day. Thank you very much.